So EarthLink is one of the oldest internet service providers in America, actually 30 years old. So if you remember, there was a company called AOL and EarthLink and MindSpring. So EarthLink and MindSpring came together 30 years ago to make one company, and that was one of the very first internet providers in America. And so today, we're very different than we were 30 years ago. Myself and a group of partners, we bought the company about 6 years ago, and we've turned it into this alternative internet choice for consumers and small businesses in America. Fun fact about EarthLink is we can actually provide internet to more homes in America than anybody else. So we can provide internet to more homes than AT&T can, more than Verizon can, more than Xfinity can, more than Spectrum, more than Windstream, the list goes on. And the way that happens is because we actually wholesale technology from other people. So we actually wholesale the technology from AT&T, from Verizon, from all the big telco players, from T-Mobile for the 5G. There'll come a day that we'll wholesale stuff like Starlink and other satellite internets. And so the way we go to the market is we go out and aggregate up technologies that we think consumers will want, or small businesses, and then we package that and bring it to the market as the EarthLink Internet brand. And so we do everything from customer acquisition to customer retention to customer service. So we own the customer, we just use other people's technology. We're headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, so not far from here. The good news for us that live in Atlanta now, it's about 5 hours, so you'll constantly see people from Atlanta coming up here. You see people from here going to Atlanta. That's where the business has been headquartered for most of that 30-year period. Today we have multiple call center environments. We have obviously our center here in Norton. This center, when it's at capacity, will have 220 employees here. We have about 50 here today. We were temporarily out in a building that was near the airport until we got this facility built. And now this is built to house about 220, could push it up to 240. We're in no hurry to get to 240. We want to get to 240 with the right people. And we'll talk today throughout the day what the right kind of person looks like and see if you think that's something that might fit you. Company-wide, we have 2 call centers in South Africa. We have another call center in Athens, Texas, which is just outside of Dallas. But this center here specifically does 2 really, really important things for us. So it does a high percentage of our sales. And so sometimes when you use that word, people get a little nervous. We don't make any outbound calls here. So this isn't a marketing kind of ploy where you come here and if you make enough calls, we make the phone ring. People are sitting upstairs right now. They just sit at their desk and all of a sudden the light pops on and an inbound call. And there's a customer somewhere across America, because we cover every state except Alaska and Hawaii. Somewhere across America, somebody's calling us saying, hey, do you have internet at 101 Main Street? And our agents then take that call and talk about our products, our services, our value proposition, and why you should buy EarthLink versus Comcast, why you should buy EarthLink versus Spectrum, why you should buy EarthLink versus AT&T. And so all of the calls are inbound, and so that's one of the big jobs that happens upstairs. The second thing that happens upstairs is we have what's called an executive escalations. And so when you run a business like this, probably no shocker, we have about 700,000 customers nationwide. Not every customer is happy every day. And so sometimes people get to me and say, hey, Mr. CEO, I'm not very happy. And we have I talk to customers every day, I email customers every day, but we have a group here that deals with escalation. So if you got to one of our call centers in South Africa and you really didn't like the outcome you got, it gets escalated to this group right here. And so this group is the last line of defense to make sure all of our customers stay happy. And when you're in this business and you deal with 700,000 people, stuff happens. And sometimes people just didn't feel good about a call that happened. And so it's really, really important group that we have. And so that's 2 of the jobs that are definitely available. We're also bringing some more of our offshore customer service, just general customer service and installation. And so when you buy internet from us, there's the ability to, you got to get installed, and so we try to hold your hand through that. And so this is what I would call our primary location as we continue to grow the business. The business over the last 6 years, this is a business that Month over month, quarter over quarter, we continue to grow. We add anywhere between 10 and 20,000 customers a month to our business. We go out and do all the demand generation. We do digital marketing. We do social media. You don't see us run Super Bowl ads. You don't see us on television. We're very specific about the geographies and the zip codes, and that's really what our DNA is in our company. In our company, we go to very specific areas and place our marketing to drive those inbound calls, because we know in that very specific area, we know a couple things. We know the competition's not doing a great job, so that's a good place to go try to get customers. We know that we have serviceability, so if we get an inbound call, we can actually say yes to the customer, so it doesn't do us any good. So for example, here in Wise County, we really don't have an internet offering here today. It's coming. It won't be long, and Comcast will have some competition in this market. And I know some of you can't wait for that day, because you've been at Comcast beck and call for a long time, and they get to decide how much you pay, and it keeps going up. They get to decide when they answer the phone if you call, and it sometimes takes 20 or 30 minutes for them to answer that call. We know how that works, right? So we find areas where we know there's a soft spot from a competitive standpoint, and we know that we actually have service, and then we go put our resources against that market to drive inbound calls. And so that's fundamentally how our business works. Let me tell you some of the things I'm the most proud about our company. So in our company, it's a very open culture, so this is not a shock that the CEO is standing in front of you today. I walk in this building just like everybody else. I always joke back home at our headquarters, we have a parking policy, the same one we have here. If you get here before me, you get a better spot. If I get here before you, I get a better spot. So in our company, there is no reserved parking for the CEO or anybody else in our company. Every employee in this company has the same health care that I have. We all pay for it the same way. So we don't have a company where I get treated one way and you get treated another way. We have a phrase we coined a number of years ago, my business partner and I, we call it a culture of one. And what that simply means is no one person will make us a great company, even the guy who's standing in front of you today. I don't have the ability to make us a great company. But any one person can keep us from being a great company. And we fundamentally believe that. And if you actually believe that, then you show up to work and knowing that anybody in this room could keep us from being a great company, we have to treat you the same way we treat me. Because everybody has to be treated that way if you believe in what we think is true, the culture of one. And so in our company, our employees are, there's things that have happened in our company, and I'm going to tell you today because you need to hear it. Sometimes they're humbling to say, but I'll say them anyway. Our company for the last 4 years has been surveyed by an independent company, not by us, by a third party, and we've been certified as a great place to work 4 years in a row, and that's our employees. If you go on Glassdoor, believe it or not, 93, 94% of our employees say they like the CEO. That's, it's humbling to say it, but it's true. Recently in Atlanta, I won an award. They called it one of the most admired CEOs in Atlanta. That's very humbling to say. But I say that because of what our company has done. Like, our company is a place that we care about employees. I will tell you right now, we don't have a single employee in this company that if the crap really hit the fan, that they're afraid to pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, Glenn, I got a problem. And because we know at the core of our business, we don't lay the fiber in the ground. We don't put the satellites in the air. What we do is we have human beings who are answering calls and taking care of customers. And that is our product. And across this company, for a long period of time, we've been able to demonstrate time and time again that our employees are better than the other people's. And as long as we have the best employees, we'll get the best outcomes. And that's fundamentally what we think in our company. In our company, like if you were in Atlanta, you would see office color scheme and stuff looks a lot like this. We don't have any solid walls in our building in Atlanta. Wherever there's a room, it's all glass, because I just have a fundamental belief. I don't want our leaders sitting behind walls or in rooms. I want them accessible. When we first built it, I didn't want any offices at all. My business partner convinced me that that was probably a bad idea. And so we do have some offices, but they're all glass, and it's done for a reason, because we want our employees to have access to everything in our company and everybody in our company. And so as a company, we've built it off of the foundation that our people fundamentally are what make a difference. And I think if you look at the 30 years of history at EarthLink, that's been the same too. We have customers who've been with us 25, 27, 28, 30 years. We have employees in this company. The day that we bought it, we inherited obviously a group of employees that were already here. We have employees who've been with us 25, 26, 27, 28 years. And one of the most incredible things to see is take an employee who's been with this business for 27 years, been through multiple changes, and bring in an employee who's been here, if you started tomorrow, you'd be day one, and put these two people together. And to watch the knowledge of 30 years and the curiosity of somebody who started day one, this is the most fascinating thing to me in the whole company. Like, to watch somebody walk in our business and ask just these curious questions of like, why do you do that? How do you do that? And you got this person who's been here for 27 years thinking, I don't know why I do that. Why do I do that? And it makes us challenge ourselves. And that's why we love like new people in our business, because even having been here for 6 years, there's days I come to work and it's like riding a bike. I do this every day. And when somebody new shows up, they're like, Glenn, why do we do this? I don't know. That's a really good question. Let me think about, why do we do that? And so I think over the course of time, it's one of the things that's really fueled our business. It's really made us different, bringing together cultures of 27 years and day one. But inside of our business, we've built a culture where our people really are our product. Let me talk about what this means for you. So I really don't care what happened to you or where you've been, as long as you're here legally and shouldn't be in jail or anything. I really don't care. Yesterday, as far back as you want to go, I really don't care. What I care about is from today forward. And here's what I know for sure, and you're going to see it upstairs. We have people in this building that I know we have changed their life. We have people in this building that I know are buying cars today that they couldn't buy 6 months ago or a year ago. We have people who are buying houses and moving out from living with their parents that couldn't do it 6 months or a year ago. And here's what I know today. If you're sitting in this room and you want an opportunity, or you want to change from what you're doing because you don't feel valued where you're at, or you want to make more money, or you want to have better benefits, or you want to get treated better, you came to the right place today. And I promise you that. Now, that doesn't mean this is the easiest job in the world. So there's 3 things I always tell our employees, and my wife would tell you if she was here today. She was actually here yesterday. She traveled with me yesterday. I say the same things all the time. I eat the same food. I tell the same jokes. It gets old. But like when I find something I like, I stick with it. I tell my wife, she's like, you tell the jokes, same jokes, you eat the same food. I said, honey, I've been married to the same chick for 35 years. I said, I got some other friends, they're not such creatures of habits. They had like 3 or 4 wives in the same period of time, right? But I always say to our employees, there's 3 things that matter. Will, the fact that you are the early class this morning. Will is just simply, do you have it in you to get out of bed and come to work every day? I mean, every day. Like, every day. I have this saying is, you can't out-earn somebody until you're willing to outwork somebody. Like, I speak to almost every training class that comes into our business. And I always say, day one, training class shows up. We're in the training room right now, and it'll look just like this. And I'm like, how many in here want to make $100,000 a year? Usually about 90% of the hands go up. There's a couple people who aren't as money driven as others, but most hands go up. And I say, okay, I have a piece of paper right here. And on here is a contract that I will not miss 1 day of work for the next year except for very serious illness or deaths in my family. How many of you would sign it? But, in fairness, most of the hands don't go up. And I simply say, we have a problem. You want this, but you want to do this. And I'm telling you, if you come to this place and you have will, and then the other thing is skill, the good news in our business, this isn't heart surgery. This isn't sending a man or woman to the moon. This is answering a call, being very consultative, being able to use a keyboard and type and do some of those things, being compassionate, having the willingness to want to learn, we can actually teach you this job. Over the course of 4 companies that my partner and I have owned, we've taught this to thousands of people. Thousands of people we've taken in to our different companies and taught them how to do this exact same thing. It is teachable, thank God, right? Like, this is teachable. But you got to be willing to want to be taught. You got to want to be taught. So if you've got the will you get out of bed every day? Or do you have a friend or spouse or somebody at your house that will kick you out of the bed and make you go? We like that too. Will you come with an open mind and the ability to learn? And then the last one is values. So will, skill, and values. Values is simply, are you an honest person? You know, we deal with customers. We can't have people who are being dishonest with our customers. We deal with taking payment because they pay us for the internet service. So we take credit cards. We can't have people who are going to be dishonest when you're dealing with other people's. And so if you come to this environment with will, skill, and values, we will teach you the skill. I just need you to have the aptitude to want to learn. And what I would tell you today, if you're sitting in this room and you're serious about your career, if you're serious about it, you can do whatever you want here. As you sit here today, the opportunity is yours. And so whether you have to make a decision about where you're at today and you want to leave, or if you're not employed today and you're really looking for an opportunity, if you think you have the will, you think you have the skill, and you think you have the values, you showed up in a place today. And I don't know how you got here. I don't know if you heard a radio ad. I don't know if somebody gave you a flyer. I don't know if somebody kicked you out of the house this morning and said, you need to go get a job. I don't care. I really don't care. What I know for sure is if you engage in this opportunity and you learn about what we do and you bring those things to the table, you can be successful here. This is a company that over 30 years has built a lot of careers for a lot of people. It's created a lot of wealth for a lot of people. It's bought a lot of cars. It's bought a lot of houses. And this is a place where you can come and do it. And uniquely, I think you would join one of the best companies in Southwest Virginia. And I think there's some good companies here. But I think we bring a unique element into this environment. I think this building that you walked in, we built this thing purposefully just for this. The people who are in this building are here purposely just for this. This isn't by accident. We've heard other people when we started out at the airport, they're like, oh yeah, they'll be out of here in a couple years. We aren't going anywhere. I can assure you that. We are going to be successful here with the 200 people, and we may have to go through 1,000 people to get to the 200. But we will have 200 people here that will be making a difference in their life, and they'll be making a difference in our customers' lives. Because that's the thing that, here's what we know for sure, and we've seen it time and time again. When we find an agent who is changing their life, that same agent is changing our customer's life. Like when I know that we have an agent here that is enjoying their job, showing up, doing a good job, I know what they sound like on the phone. My partner and I, we listen to calls every day. Like we just do it. It's kind of in our DNA. It's like our Spotify. Like we have people in our company, they'll make us like this, they'll send us these files and we just download them on our computer, and I'm sitting at my desk working and listening to a call that happened 3 weeks ago. Just to hear what are customers saying about our product, what's the scripting our agents are using, is it working, where's the problem, so we can have this kind of constant feedback loop. And so we know when we get the right agents, we get the right customer experience. When we get the right customer experience, we get happier customers. When we get happier customers, they tell their neighbor. When they tell their neighbor, we get another customer. And it's just a flywheel. And so what I would tell you is you sit here today and you evaluate and you think about it, and some of you today are just probably checking the box that I went and applied for a job and that's interesting, and I'll go back home and maybe I'll sit on the couch or whatever I'm going to do. And some of you will leave here today and say, you know what, this might be a place. And what I know for sure is if you engage, this is the place. Like I've watched it too many times. And I've watched people, I don't care what walk of life you come from, it really doesn't matter. The fact is, I graduated from J.J. Kelly. It's not a much different school than maybe a bunch of you graduated from. I didn't leave there and go right off to college. I went off and went into the Air Force because I wanted to go do my own thing, and I didn't want my parents to pay my bills anymore, and I wanted to be independent, and that's what I did. At age 40, I finally did go to college and grew up a little bit, my wife would tell you. But this is not a place that what you've done in the past or how you've got to where you're at will make a difference if you want to make a difference going forward. And so I just encourage you as you walk through today and you think about it, you really think about, what do I want to do with my life? And this is a place, if you want to change it, EarthLink is the platform where you can change it.